Welcome back to the pod. This is That's Unfortunate with Tori and Courtney.
Do you ever feel like you should actually just say with Tortney?
With Tortney? That sounds like maybe a disease. Tortney? I got Tortney.
Or you want some Tortney pasta tonight?
Tortellini.
Tortellini. Renaming the podcast Tortellini right now. Not really. I actually don't like tortellini. It just makes me think of belly buttons.
Oh, that's
and
a good point.
It's kind of gross to me.
We recorded a good podcast episode last week. And you probably didn't notice because I still uploaded 2 podcasts last week.
Mm-hmm.
But something happened to the pod track, P4, TM. I don't know. It was just skipping around. It lost like 5 minutes of us talking, which would be fine if it was 5 minutes all at once. But it was 5 minutes, just 10-second increments throughout the 2 hours that we sat here yapping.
We yapped, yeah.
We yapped so much, and it was so good. And I deleted it off my list as we talked about it, so I don't even remember half the stuff we talked about. But anyways, hopefully this is fixed. If not, I will spiral out and cry. Because I don't understand.
Yeah, because we're not going to record 2 podcasts, and I think you should just post the video anyway.
Yeah, I could just post the video. It's just like the audio's so bad.
Yeah, but
I could still.
it's okay.
Yeah.
You know, that's unfortunate, but it's okay.
That's so unfortunate.
It is. That is the most unfortunate thing to have happened.
On the agenda today, I started a new job today. I substitute teached.
Yeah, you did.
For the first time ever.
How's it feel to be, did you go by like Mrs.?
I was going to go by Miss Morris.
Yeah.
Because I read online that gives you more authority. Because I'm also with like middle school and high schoolers. But then the first class, the lady at the front introduced me as Miss Tori. And I was like, okay. And she said, is that what you want to be called? And I was like, okay. Because Miss Morris does sound like an old lady.
Yeah, it does. I've always been Miss Courtney. I would hate to be called my last name.
Yeah.
But I just have weird feelings about that. Like, I'm Courtney. I go by Courtney. You know? I'm surprised you didn't go by Coach. Period.
Oh, shit. I can go by Coach.
Yeah.
I'm also going to be assistant tennis coach. I'm actually going to change that. I'm Coach Tori.
Yeah.
That sounds so much cooler.
Just be Coach. Yeah.
Coach T.
That's it. That's the one.
Hell yeah.
So I don't know. How was it? You were with high schoolers?
I was with middle schoolers because I'm a people pleaser. And I told them I didn't want anything but high school. But they called me last night at 5:30 p.m. and said, hey, I know you only wrote high school, but would you be willing to do middle school? And I was like, okay. Which is probably
middle school
fine.
isn't bad. Sometimes they are worse than high schoolers with their like little tudes, and because they've got some weird hormonal stuff going on.
And I feel like they're not embarrassed yet.
Yeah, and that's scary.
Yeah.
Because I would be embarrassed if I did half the things that some of them did.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, tell me more.
So fun. I made a list of the things that happened today. And of course, I'm not going to say anybody's names or anything.
They say weird things. They notice things.
Yeah.
They don't really know shame, or they know shame, but they like the attention that they get from it.
Oh, yeah.
And it's too rewarding for them.
I learned some things about children today. They're very sassy.
Oh, yeah.
They're funny, though.
Yeah.
They're kind of mean, though.
Yeah.
And they're dramatic. Oh, my God. They're so dramatic. Yeah. Like, everything that was happening was literally the end of the world. And their shoes, they're not on right. They're flying off.
Yeah.
I need somebody to tie these baby shoes tight.
It's not going to be you, though, probably.
I'm not touching them shoes.
Yeah.
But they're flying off. And I subbed PE.
What
so
a fun
running.
first day to sub.
Yeah, I thought that was...
But also, were they so stinky? My brain,
I don't know.
I just had a
glitch.
Sorry.
I didn't get close enough, but they were chaos.
Yeah.
Because I guess they're so like to themselves in the classroom that they're using that as their like outlet to like yell and stuff.
To be.
And boy, did they. That also, subbing is so strange because that woman just walked me right in there and said, "Here you go," and left me. I had no training, no like information. Like if they ask to go to the bathroom, can I let them? If they ask to go get a drink of water, can I let them? I did not know.
Yeah.
Because she just put me in there and said bye.
Yeah, she didn't know. And nobody gave you class notes?
No.
Which I know it's just PE, but like insane. I could never. I am the type of person that if I have a sub, like I will have detailed instructions. And if you follow them, that's your choice. But like you're going to have plenty of plans from me first.
Yeah. I mean, maybe it's because it was PE, but like.
Oh, there should still be a lesson plan that you have access to that you can follow. Like, all right, this random day you can follow.
I looked all over her desk. I found random stuff, but no notes. No roster. I didn't call roll. I didn't know how many kids I was supposed to have. I asked her that when the first class. I said, "Am I supposed to like take roll?" And she said, "Does she not have it in there?" I was like, "No." And she said, "Well, just ask them who's missing."
Ask like 11 and 12-year-olds.
Yeah. And so I asked and they told me 2 people. And I was like, all right, wrote it down. And that never came up again.
No.
But whatever. I had these 2 girls. Also, all the girls tall. While all the boys are still small.
Yeah.
So that was interesting. And I think all the girls, I think I had a harder time with the girls. Because they were kind of mean to me. Like I was standing there. You're supposed to stand outside to like, you know, they won't mess around in the hallway as much as if you're outside. They did tell me that. So as classes would leave and come in, I would stand out by my door. Like the first class, there was people looking at me dead in my eyes with no smile in their face. Kids, not people. And I would be like, one time I said, "Hi." And that girl goes, "Hi." Mocking me. I'm like... I'm just trying to be nice to you people. But anyways, these 2 girls come up. I'm also at a desk on top of a stage. So I am above. I'm up here. I'm a tall girl. And so these 2 girls come up and she's like, "Hey, my friend has a question, but she's too scared to ask." And it's her little friend standing behind her. And I said, "Okay, what's up?" And she said, "Do you know who Billie Eilish is?" And I was kind of offended by that.
Yeah.
Actually, because I'm not 80.
Also, love her. Well, yes.
Like, I guarantee I like her more than you do.
Same.
Because I actually understand what the songs are saying most of the time. Maybe not always. And she was like, "Do you like her?" Because I said, "Yeah." And she said, "Do you like her?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she said, "What's your favorite album?" I didn't know I was going to be quizzed today. That's literally what I said. And they just turned around and walked off. And I was like, "What? Did I pass?"
Did you do good? Do you know?
I don't know. So that was hilarious. I had another little boy come up to me. And I say little boys. These are, you know, kids, but they're not like babies. But anyways, he had a piece of paper and a pencil. And he said, "I have a question." I was like, "Okay, what's up?" And he was like, "What's your favorite Pop-Tart?" "S'mores."
What's with these questions?
Next.
S'mores.
And then he just said, "Okay," and walked off. Am I being surveyed? It's crazy.
Yeah.
At one point,
the kids had a little like game going on. They were like, "All right, who can ask her the most questions today?"
I know. One boy, in one of them, they were playing basketball, and he had a little mullet, and he come up to me and he said, "Come play basketball." And I thought I had misheard him because I'm not about to go play basketball with y'all. And I said, "Huh?" He said, "Come play basketball." I said, "Me?" And he said, "Yeah, you. Please come play basketball." I said, "No." I said, "Y'all are doing super good though." And he was like, "We are?" I was like, "Yeah." I mean, kind of they were. They were throwing it into the hole.
Yeah.
So, also they told me they can only have 3 balls. There was no less than 5 balls at a time. But I never said anything.
As long as they didn't look like they were danger, you know?
Yeah.
That they were.
There was some danger that I saw happening, and I had to watch it and judge if I needed to do something about it. Because they kind of were play fighting a lot, wrestling and stuff. And I'm like, I remember I did that with my friends. But at some point, I had to like make sure everybody was smiling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. A good rule of thumb is like, you just keep your hands to yourself.
Yeah.
You don't touch other people without consent, even if you're playing.
Yeah.
Like, you just keep your hands to yourself.
I did say at one point, so I saw those boys playing basketball, and one of them was trying to take the ball, and they were doing that, like, arm pushing thing. And I was like, okay, like, that's not really that bad because they're playing basketball, but he got it, turned to shoot it, and the other kid just shoved him. Like, obviously that was a push.
Yeah.
And so I was like, hey, no pushing. And I was like, wow, I'm such a teacher. But anyways, that was fun. First class, fine. They listened to me. I got to say my name. Second class, immediately came in, started playing. I never even spoke to them. Never told them my name. There were so many of them in there. That was the biggest one. It was alarming.
They just entered and they were like, we're doing what we want.
Yep.
I wonder if that's all that they do during...
Maybe.
Is they just play.
Yeah. Maybe. No one told me. Not sure. And then third class, I said, okay, I'm about to like really take charge of this because that freaked me out.
Yeah.
And so third class come in, did the same thing. Like, there's basketball going on here. There's dodgeball here. There's girls sitting on the bleachers here. And I was like, we're playing kickball. I like waved my arms and said, hey, I'm Miss Tori. We're playing kickball. And a few of them were like, yay. And then some of them ignored me completely. And the boys that had the basketballs were ignoring me completely. And I was like, we're playing kickball. Put the basketballs up. And they didn't. And so I said, hey, like I'm yelling because I'm in a huge gym.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, basketballs up. We're playing kickball. And then they all like, and put the basketballs up. And I was like, they probably could have kept the basketballs, but they were in the way of kickball.
Yeah.
And so then they started saying like, who wants to play kickball? Nobody wants to play kickball. Raise your hand if you want to play kickball. And I was like, I don't care. I said we're playing kickball. That's what we're freaking doing.
Yeah.
And they sat the whole time they didn't play kickball. And I was gonna say
during PE, that's fine.
Like the last like 15 minutes, then it could be everything. But they kind of like annoyed me with their little attitude, so they didn't get to play anything. Or they could have played kickball, they just didn't. Whatever.
Yeah. Grumpy. You should have told them like, hey, if you don't get up and play kickball, you don't have to, but if you don't get to play anything during this time. So just so you know, this is your chance.
Yeah. And then the class after that, I think they were 6th graders maybe because the boys were really small. And they all filed in. I go in and shut the door. They're sitting politely in the middle of the gym on the H like they're like trained to do so maybe. And I was like, oh my gosh, I love this.
I love these kids.
They all would have done that. And so I walked up and I was like, what do y'all want to do? And they said free day. I was like, what's a free day? And they were like, we just do whatever. I said, okay.
You do you.
Because there's only like 8 of them. That was a good one because there wasn't very many.
Of them?
Yeah.
Wow.
But the other ones, there were so many.
What was like the most you think you had?
Maybe 25 to 30.
Okay.
That just felt like a lot. And they were all running, you know, and that makes it worse.
Yeah.
I need to sit down somewhere.
I would have been so different, probably.
What do you mean?
Because I would have been like, all right, everybody, here's the activity that I'm giving you, and you're all going to do exactly what I do for the next hour. And freeze dance at the end. Like, run laps.
Yeah. Well, that first class, I did say, your teacher wants you to do 2 laps. Because
awesome.
The girls, or the lady at the front said they usually do a couple laps and play kickball.
Yeah.
So that's what I did the first time. And on like lap 1.5, which is a gym. It's not a big lap.
It's not much, yeah. She
said, is that enough? One of the girls said, is that enough? And I said, sure.
Yeah.
Play kickball. And those kids, I didn't have to do anything. They were locked in on kickball.
Some groups of kids are different. You never know.
But the rest of them,
chaos.
There was this one girl jumping. She just wanted to kick the whole time. That's what the problem was. And her team was mad. And she ran up to me at the beginning and said, can I be team captain? But team captain is not even with her team. I was thoroughly entertained all day long. I will say that.
Yeah.
Another one of my survey questions. 2 girls walk up, say, hey, what time does the sun set? And I took a second because, time it's getting
changing.
later. It's changing.
Yeah.
So I was like, and then the girl beside her said, she don't know. I said, I do know. It's 6 p.m. Roundabouts. And they said, oh, walked off. We could talk about it a little more if you need to know about the sun. Because I do know about it. Mm-hmm. But she didn't need any more information than that. In between one of the switching, I was standing there as kids were walking out. I was putting the little stopper under the door. And the two boys that were at the front of the line to come in for the next class said, is that the teacher? And I looked up at him and I said, that's me. Because I'm literally, he's right here.
Yeah.
So I'm right next to him.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know who said it. I don't know if it was a girl or a boy. But they walked out of the class and said, that teacher in there is a bad teacher. And I was like, that kind of hurt my feelings.
Why are you then a bad teacher?
The boy said, did you hear her or them? Or I don't know. I can't remember if it was a boy or girl that said it. Did you hear them? They said you were pretty. And then I realized they meant bad. She a baddie. And I was like, oh, I'm so stupid. But for a second,
no, you're not.
Feelings are really hurt.
I literally never would have gotten that. I'd still.
They didn't say bad teacher. They just said she's bad.
Yeah.
And so I just thought, oh my God, I didn't do anything in there. So maybe they would consider me a bad teacher.
And
but
kids
then
are ruthless.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So that was hilarious. And I just said to that boy, I said, I don't know. And then we were playing kickball in the last one. And the little girl that was rolling it, she was so put together. She was really cute. She curled her hair that morning. Mm-hmm. She looked like a popular girl.
Oh.
She's rolling the ball. And one of the boys runs up, kicks it 5 feet in front of her, straight into her face. And it said, it smacked her in the face.
Poor baby.
I'm so sorry. That's hilarious. It is so funny. But I felt so bad for her. Because it didn't hurt that bad. But it was probably her ego that was really hurt or whatever.
It might have hurt pretty bad.
It might have hurt really bad.
Cried.
She cried.
Yeah.
So I was looking and it was so sweet. All the kids ran to her and were oh my gosh, are you okay? And then she started crying. So I stood up and I was like, are you okay?
Yeah.
Because I'm not good with kids crying, and I kind of wanted to giggle a little. Mm-hmm. But then she turned around and started rolling the ball again. So she was fine after a second of crying.
Yeah. That could have been bad.
But she did have PTSD for the rest of the game. She's flinching. And then a few minutes later, one of the boys came up and was like, hey, can I go get her some ice? And I was like, yeah. And she iced her face for a second. But I think she was fine.
Yeah.
Hopefully I don't get in trouble for that. That's really not my fault.
Yeah, but you probably were supposed to report it.
Dang, probably.
But nobody told you to do that. If they don't tell you to do it. Also, do you have any first aid training?
No.
Crazy that they would just let you sub a class of 6th and 7th graders in PE of all things. What if one of them was epileptic? What if one of them stuck that ball in their throat and choked? They wouldn't do that, but I don't know. You would just be. Did you have a walkie-talkie?
Nope.
Oh, is there an intercom system so you can call another?
But I was right there, in front of the front desk lady, so I could just popped out and told her. Yeah, maybe I should have reported that, but.
Well, they have documentation that you're that teacher probably has in their room of just a little log of date, child's name, incident that occurred.
Well,
it's probably short and sweet. It's probably not much, but you're good.
She's fine.
Yeah.
Bless her. That's not fun. Another thing that I almost laughed at was they're arguing all the time. Yeah. And one of the dudes looked at the girl and said, "Yo, fat nose." And I'm sitting there he didn't even call her fat, but it's still inappropriate. Mm-hmm. And also so out of pocket.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there I gotta hold it in. I can't laugh now.
You cannot laugh at that.
No, I can't. But it was funny.
Kids are like that.
And she was giving it back to him though. I can't remember any of her insults, but she was giving it. She liked to argue though.
And 4-year-olds, and they do the same shit. There was a little girl washing her hands. Another little boy came up and washed his hands next to her, and she goes, I don't like you. Why are you washing your hands next to me? I told him to wash his hands.
Oh, poor thing.
So I go, excuse me, can you just like maybe be nice and not say that you don't like him? Maybe. And she just kind of went, a 3-year-old. She's so little and so much sass already. She'll be 4 like next month, but yeah. Crazy. And that little boy was just like sad face. He got that bottom lip popping out, and I was just,
that's sad.
Poor baby. And then, a couple hours later, they were hugging and talking about how they're best friends. So clearly it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
But weird how it's the same when you're 3 and 4 and when you're 10 and 11.
Yeah. And like, how do you not laugh? I'm sure after I hear it a bunch, it'll probably start to get on my nerves actually. So that'll help me not laugh.
Maybe.
But, and then one girl, she was in a conversation. She said, whatever make you sleep at night. I was like, I don't think that's the phrase. But so close.
So close.
So funny.
Whatever make you sleep at night. Did any of them comment on, like, you? Other than you're bad? Like, did any of them say, like, what's that in your nose? Like,
no, and no
like
one
that?
told me I couldn't have my nose ring either. I'm just wearing it until somebody tells me I can't.
Hell yeah.
One girl said she liked my shirt. I did, like, one of those classes, all the girls were sitting in the bleachers. None of them played. And every time I looked at them to make sure they weren't on their phones, because she did tell me that if they get on their phones, we have to take them. That every time I looked at them, they were like looking at me and whispering to each other and like laughing. And I'm like, y'all are talking so much shit about me. I know it. And those are the girls that asked me if I knew who Billie Eilish was.
Oh, yeah. They probably were like, you look like Billie Eilish.
Maybe. That would be awesome. I did wear my big jeans today.
Maybe that's why.
Maybe.
They're like, she's so stylish.
There was one girl, I wanted to tell her she was so cute, but I didn't. She had on like a long, like goth black t-shirt, long sleeve with thumb holes, bright red hair, and like cool jeans.
Yeah?
I want those jeans. And like Converse. She looked like Avril Lavigne. And I almost wanted to tell her she looked like Avril Lavigne, but I did not think she would know who that was.
No, probably not. But I love Avril.
Yeah. And then right before I left, the bell rang and everybody was still throwing balls. And it was chaos. They were playing basketball. They were playing dodgeball. There's balls flying everywhere. Principal walks in after the bells rung. I hadn't had a chance yet to say, everybody put the balls up, bell rang. He came in and yelled it for me. I was like, oof, I'm not looking good. And I didn't report the ball in the face.
He probably didn't care at all.
Hopefully not.
They were all alive. There was no blood. I think you did a great job.
I don't think I did bad.
No.
Thanks.
Could have been worse.
Yeah.
The fact that you didn't, like, text me midday and say, I fucking hate this.
Yeah. I don't think I hated it.
Did you ever feel overstimulated?
Not really. I can tell if I did that every day, I would.
Yeah. I feel like PE's got to be kind of like a cool class to be in because it's different kids and you can do so many different things. You can be so active versus like just being in an English class.
I was kind of hoping that they would have said since it was nice I could take them outside and walk around like their little track. But that didn't happen, so which is probably for the best because I didn't freaking have a roster.
Yeah. You'd lose all the children.
That big one, those kids kept walking out the door. Because I'm over here on the stage, and the door's way over there across the gym. And I was watching them and popping in and out. And I was like, I guess I should probably go. And on Fridays, they do that candy day. So they can go buy candy. So I think they were going out there and buying candy from the front desk lady. And she did tell me after that class, hey, don't let them come out and buy more candy. They've already bought their candy. I was like, I wasn't really letting them.
Yeah, they were just doing the fuck they want. Yeah.
So I think that in a smaller classroom, it'll be better. Because that was a huge room for me to be in charge of.
Yeah. Your first day subbing. That's wild.
Wild. No notes. Just put me in there and say bye.
Yeah.
So crazy.
That is really crazy. I could never.
All right, let's pivot away from school, but...
Can I just, like, bitch for a minute?
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
So, at the school today, and we had a staff meeting once all the children left, and then we also celebrated December and November birthdays, not January birthdays.
Okay.
Bizarre. So they told us that something that they do is, like, each staff member puts $1 in a card for the people. I do not have cash, so I did not give anybody money. And I did think for a few minutes and spiral for a few minutes that they're going to know I didn't give them money and that I'm going to be a bad person that didn't give away $3. So that's something that happened. But then our boss just, like, talked at us while everybody sat and tried to participate. And she would stop every so often and just be like, does anybody have any questions? And then at some point she starts to talk about how, so we get 2 15-minute breaks throughout the day. I always take one before lunch and one after lunch, just at varying times whenever I can leave the room because children are crazy. She said that the business corporate people have come and said that because they are paying for our breaks, that we can no longer leave the building and be outside during our breaks, that we have to be inside of the building for the full whatever 8-hour day it is.
Oof.
I think I'm the only person that takes my break outside of the building because I go sit in my car and read my book or scroll on Instagram or literally sit in silence for 15 minutes straight and I'll eat a snack or something. Because, 15 minutes is all I have to eat. And, so I was sitting there listening to her tell us that we don't get our breaks outside anymore. And I was thinking to myself, like, I am not going to work this job for very much longer. Do I say anything? And then I was like, actually, if I am here for the next 2 weeks, I really care. So I, like, turned my head and took a second to think about it. And I looked at her and I said, so why can we not take our breaks? And I could feel my heart racing. Like, I started to feel angry about it. Like, I was getting mad, and that was so unnecessary for my heart to do that to me. But I was feeling some type of way. And I was like, why? And she goes, well, that's just what they told me. They told me that because they are paying for your break. And I was just like, so a couple of weeks ago, like, we had the professional development day where the mental health people told us that if we need to take our breaks and go for a walk outside, go sit in our car, go outside, which is a normal thing for you to go see the fucking sun for a few minutes, that we can, that's a part of, like, just being a human. It's okay.
Especially being somebody, like, around loud children all day, like, you might need a second to...
And loud people, loud adults, like, the rest of them are so loud, which I have another story about that really fast in a second. So I just said, like I go and sit in my car for those 15 minutes because it's loud in here. When I take my break inside of the building, I don't get a break. That's not the same as me going out to my car in the silence, reading my book by myself, quiet. If I'm in here, I don't take a break because I wanted to tell her so bad. Like, literally today, I took a 15-minute break. When I went into the staff lounge, nobody was in there. So I sat down with my book in the staff lounge and my coffee, drinking my coffee, reading my little book, so excited to be alone in a room for a moment. I can still hear stuff. There's a lot of volume going, but it's not anything crazy that I can't tune out to read. She came in, my boss, the person that tells me that I can't have my breaks outside, and she starts to talk to me. And, like, at first, it was just one simple question, and I just kind of, I'm reading, and I just look up, and I'm like, and then I look back down, I'm continuing reading. And then clearly she's ready to have a full conversation. So then my 15-minute break that I had 2 minutes of turned into another 18 minutes of her and I talking until finally I just shut my book and picked up all of my stuff and was like, okay, yeah, and went back into the room because I wasn't actually getting a break. And I went over the time that I would have normally had to take a break. And so then whenever I went to the room, I had to apologize to the other teachers, like, sorry, guys, that I was gone for so long. I got cornered by our boss who loves to talk. Like, my bad. So I wanted to tell her that, like, you are a part of the reason that I can't take my break inside the building. Yeah. And she just said that she would talk to, like, the director of this area or something and see what she can do. But I so badly wanted to say, like, if I can't go to my car during my break, like, I'm going to go to my car and drive away.
Yeah.
I'm not going to stay here.
Period.
Yeah.
I hate that.
Also, like, I don't know about in Tennessee, but in Texas, like, they legally have to give you a certain amount of time for breaks. It's like every 6 hours you get a 30-minute break. Every 8 hours you get an hour break plus 15-minute breaks or something. I get 2 15-minute breaks for an 8-hour day. Like
you don't get a lunch break?
No. When the kids eat lunch is whenever we eat lunch.
Oh, wow. I did not know that. Can I tell you something? Yeah. Then you won't get offended. No, wait. I went and got my fingerprints taken at
next
the same location.
Yeah, it's like, right. Yeah.
That's the most depressing
looking
area.
Right.
Like, the buildings are, like, old, and I couldn't be stuck in there.
No, that's why I have to go fucking out to my car.
I don't know what the inside looks like.
But it's better.
It's probably better, but, like, the
Not
outside is, like, scary.
It does look scary. Yeah. And every location that I've been to kind of looks scary like that. I think part of it is that, like, it's for low-income families. Yeah. So then they put it in a low-income area.
Which I understand, but
yeah,
I need to go outside. Yeah. I'm going to need to see the sunlight.
Yeah. There's, like, a little bit of a track out by where I usually park my car. It's very small, but I walk there sometimes. Like, you can't tell me that I can't go and get physical activity on my 15-minute break. Even though you're paying me, like...
Yeah, that's not normal.
Nah, it's 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So I'm going to continue to take my breaks.
In your car.
In my car.
As you
should. The point that, like, I'm going to be a little bit more... Like, sometimes I was sitting inside and eating my food inside. If I was feeling, like, a little bit more social, nah, I'm not going to take a single break ever again inside. They also mentioned about cups. Every rule that she was repeating to us are rules that I break. So that was fun. Cups. So we're not allowed to have, like, I always bring in a coffee cup because I'm a coffee whore, and my big water cup because also I drink a lot of water and I need a lot of water. So I usually leave it just, like, on a tall shelf away from the children, and my coffee cup sometimes I'll walk around with and drink. And I know I'm not supposed to, but, like, especially whenever it's breakfast time and all the kids are eating, or lunchtime and all the kids are eating, and we're sitting down in stationary areas and the kids aren't around me, I'll set my cup down next to me and drink my water or my coffee while we're eating or while they are eating. And so she confirmed today, like, your cups have to be put away. You can't have anything other than a cup that's for water. Like, we're only allowed to have water in the room. And your water has to be, like, a sealed bottle and completely, like, locked in a cabinet away from the children. It's like prison.
It kind of looks like one from the outside.
Oh, it does. I know.
Speaking of, when I went and got my fingerprints taken, it took me forever to figure out the building because there's, like, 5 out there.
I wish you had texted. I wish you had known before that that's where you were going and we had chatted about it, because I could have told you exactly where to go.
I didn't know until...
Also, I could have come outside and met you and we could have walked together for a minute.
That would have been nice. I was on my way to work, though. But anyways, I walked into one place. The lady said, no, this ain't it. Mm-hmm. She said, go to this building. I went to that building. That wasn't the right building. And I was looking in there, and I saw a man walking into the other one. Mm-hmm. Because the lady told me to go to that one. Because it's got letters on it, on the sides, and she told me to go to that letter. But I saw a man walking in there, and I was like, oh, he must be going in there to get his fingerprints taken. Yeah. Man, he smells like weed. Like, he was in his car smoking. Mm-hmm. But also, maybe I'm thinking, maybe it was a Black and Mild, and I'm associating it with the smell of weed. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure it might have been some weed.
No, it was weed, for sure.
Okay.
No doubt in my mind. Sometimes that parking lot smells a little of weed.
Okay, perfect. Then that's what it was. Also, the windows are tinted on the building. So I went to walk in, and I opened the door, and he's standing right there. And so I jumped. He scared me. Like, I physically recoiled from him because it scared me so bad. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. He said, it's okay. Turn around running. I had to, like, go behind him really fast because he's leaving me. And he starts taking my fingerprints. And man.
Crazy that he was the fingerprint man.
He was the fingerprint man. I thought he was just in there to get his fingerprints done. He is the fingerprint man.
Crazy. How do you get that job?
I don't know, but is he in there by himself because he smelled like weed?
He might be.
Maybe no one else works in there, so he doesn't care.
Because you had to like schedule an appointment to do it, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just him.
Yeah, maybe. I didn't see anybody else in there. So he starts talking to me, and he goes, and this is another thing that makes me think it probably was weed because of the way he was conversing with me. But he said, "Are you ready for the war?" And I'm thinking he's meaning like teaching children.
Yeah.
And I was like, "I guess so." And then he goes, "It sucks." And I was like, okay. Like, what a great way to talk to me about something I'm trying to do. Mm-hmm. And I just said, haha. You know what you do when you're having like an awkward conversation? Mm-hmm. You're just like, haha.
You're uncomfortable.
Yeah. And then he goes, "It's coming to a head though. We need to start fighting this war with faith in Jesus Christ instead of guns and ammo." And I was like, so then I didn't think we were talking about the kids.
No.
Because they were talking about guns and the Lord. And I just go, uh-huh. And then he starts taking my fingerprints. His hands were so moist.
Oh, man.
Clammy. He had a long pinky nail on each finger, and he's just touching my hands. And I'm not a touch person. I don't like to touch. I'll hug my friends, but I don't like to be touched, actually.
You're not somebody's sweaty hand.
And then, yeah. And so and I'm just thinking to myself, ew, ew, ew. Then we finish and I leave. And I just thought to myself, wow. That was an interesting.
What an experience. Yeah.
And he said a couple other weird things while I was in there, but I don't remember what they were now, but.
Those were the highlights.
Those were the highlights. I heard this on a different podcast, and I'm stealing it, and I'm so sorry. I do not know what podcast it came from. There's 1,000 grapes.
Okay.
Every grape you eat is worth $50,000.
Okay.
But one grape is poison.
Okay.
How many grapes are you eating?
Poison and I'm going to die, or poison and I can get the antidote?
Poison, you're going to die.
I'm not eating any of them.
For real?
Yeah.
I might eat 4.
4?
Yeah.
All right.
I think 4. Like, I'm not brave enough to eat 20.
Yeah.
But I'd eat 4.
Could find my worst enemy and give them all 1,000 and not tell them anything about the money or the poison and just be like,
and when they die, you take the money.
Eat up.
Yeah.
These are magic grapes that are nommy noms, delicious. And then when they die, I'll take all the money. Yeah, I think, yeah, maybe I would eat 1, but what if that one is the killer one?
I know. But actually, I'd have to eat at least 2 because 1, my student loans are paid off.
Side of my mouth because I'm a little neurotic. I gotta have
1. My student loans are paid off. 2, I have $50,000. I can't just eat 1 because then it's just like, oh yeah, I'm debt free.
Now,
but
if I can say we're gonna do it together, and like each of us are gonna eat 4 and then get our money, and
I'm scared. I'd be so sad if you died in front of me from your grape.
But then that I'm already dead and you can keep going, and then your
my
money
gosh.
will give you happiness because I'm gone. It's okay.
I would buy you the best gravestone ever.
Yeah, I would die for you.
I would
Over
die
a
for you
grape.
Too. Yeah.
Over $50,000. Like if you really want,
If it was just like poison, I'm gonna like shit myself for 3 weeks. I'd eat all the grapes.
Yeah.
That would suck. But
you'd be putting Vaseline on your butthole.
We've all been there, right, ladies?
I don't think I've ever put it on my butthole before, but my little sister and I were on the phone earlier, and she had some stomach bug and was, on a toilet for 24 hours straight. She was talking about how close she was to putting Vaseline on her butthole, and I was like, man, yeah, I've gotten so close to that too. I know exactly what you're talking about.
I mean, I'd say after 6 bouts of diarrhea, your butthole's just wrecked.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had a thought the other day, and you won't understand this fully, but this is how I feel. So people buying Pokemon cards right now, there are people buying to collect, and there's also scalpers, which I hate, because they're driving up the prices of stuff, and like, I'm just buying to collect. I'm not buying to resell stuff. And I am an adult, but like, there are adults out here buying and scalping and ruining it for kids, which sucks. But when people in general, especially adults, buy a box of a $50 box, we'll say, of Pokemon cards, not planning to sell it, and there's an app where you can scan the card and it tells you how much it's worth. And so let's say they get a really good card and it's worth $100. They'll say out loud, like, $50 profit. And that right there, to me, is girl math. Tied up in a little Pokemon themed bow.
And now you have an extra $50 to spend.
Yeah. Because no one's selling them. They're just like, oh, I bought this for $50 and I pulled a $100 card. Girl math, I am $50 richer. But you're not, because you're never going to sell it.
Some people might.
They might. But 9 times out of 10, I'd say people are collecting.
Yeah. My 7-year-old niece FaceTimed me the other day and all of a sudden was like, hey, Kiki, that's what they call me, do you want to see the new Pokemon card I got? And I was like...
Did they get it out of their Happy Meal?
I guess so. I don't know. Both nieces, the 5 and 7-year-old, had Pokemon cards. Like 4 or 5 of them. They opened a pack each. And one of them, she was like, yeah, I got this kind. It was...
Charizard.
Translucent or something.
Okay.
You know, it was like the card looks different than the other cards. It was something special.
Yeah, shiny.
Some specific
like
something. And she was
holographic
like, that's so cool. And then the 5-year-old is like, hey, did you open mine? Where's mine? And she's like, no, I didn't open yours. It's right here. She like throws it at her. And I was just like, you know, I know nothing about this, but also I know a little bit about this because my best friend does Pokemon cards.
Pokemon cards.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
When they are here in March, I need you to like, you know, just...
I'll show them my binder.
Can I let
I'll bring my binder.
my nieces come to your house? They would love the dogs and the Pokemon cards.
Hell yeah, bring them on over. They might have got them out of Happy Meals because that's the toy right now at McDonald's.
It might have been, but I know that they play that. What's the app where you can like
Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was literally gonna say where you can Pokemon Go. Because my brain knew what it was.
Yeah.
I know that they've played that like with their parents and they've gone to parks and stuff and done activities.
Okay. So maybe they might have actually opened packs then. Yeah. That's cool.
Or it could have been. I don't know that they ever go to McDonald's, but
you better tell them.
I don't know everything about
to
them.
sleeve them. And save them because when they're 25, the cards they're pulling right now are going to be worth money.
I'm going to go call her in just a minute.
Not that they'll sell them.
They might, though.
But they might.
They seem like they're going to be badass bitches in their adulthood and
hell yeah,
make $1 million and then be... Hopefully they make $2 million and they give me $1 million just for loving them so much, you know?
Heck yeah. I'm hoping that with my nieces and nephews.
Yeah.
It's something I was thinking about the other day. Every time I get a new cool item that might be worth money one day, my estate sale is going to be bitching. Like, can you imagine? I die in 100 years from now because I'm going to live a really long time.
Yeah.
You go to my estate sale and there's
books,
Pokemon cards,
morel mushroom statues.
I think the Mary Mushroom canister collection that I have, it's already worth money.
Those are so pretty. I love those.
But at the same time, I always think like, yeah, I'm not planning to have children, but I would leave a lot of that stuff to like my nieces and nephews and stuff. So, but
on the other hand,
unless they're mean to me, and then I'll have an estate sale.
My estate sale is going to be like
this one shirt she found from Goodwill 84 years ago.
I have clothes. I own a lot of clothes,
but you don't.
Too many. I would love to get rid of most of them. Yeah, and then I have, you know, like 2 large tubs full of memorabilia and like awards that I've won, papers, playbills from musicals I've been to. Yeah. I should let you go through that one day because honestly, it's kind of really freaking fun for me.
You bring yours over.
Photo albums, and we can do it together.
I'll give you mine, and we go through them because I have a huge tub of stuff.
Yeah, I think I
actually
have too.
I'm a crazy person and kept all of my notes from high school
Okay,
in binders.
Oh my God.
We went to dinner last weekend, I guess. Me and you and a couple other people. And my favorite time ever was driving back home and screaming, "Good luck, babe," on the way home.
Screaming.
It was me and her boyfriend, James. And that shit was so fun.
We finished the song and you said, you know, I just love you two so much. You're my two favorite people.
Yes, because I
And
love
I
that.
felt that in my whole body. In that moment, I was like, I love you two so much too.
Hell yeah.
And then we
was so
showed you a
fun.
new song by Robin.
Yeah. That
And
was
James
good.
and I sang it with our whole chest.
Which
And
was so fun.
I'm sorry that you just had to listen to the two of us
It was a good song.
screaming that song.
That was good. Aaron,
Do you need more wine?
bring us more wine.
Please. May we have some more? He matched my energy. That was so good.
Hell yeah, he did. Perch right here. Oop, 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 oop. Don't hit the mic.
Oh.
Welcome in, Aaron, to the pod. This is my husband. I'm going to ask him the great question. Aaron, don't read it.
Oh.
There's a... Aaron is very, very, like, technical. He thinks things through.
Yeah.
Like, to an exhausting extent sometimes.
Analytical.
Analytical. There's 1,000 grapes.
Mm.
Every grape
said,
you eat, every grape you eat is $50,000 you get. Okay?
Okay.
One of them is poison though, and you'll die.
Okay.
How many grapes do you eat? Out of 1,000 grapes, one is poison.
Oh, that's tricky. Probably none. Probably none?
You'd really eat none?
Is it worth dying?
That's what I
It's
said.
like when you want to steal from work. Is it worth losing your job
Oh,
for
yes.
$100 or something?
Okay. That's your answer. You can leave.
That
now.
was my answer too.
Okay.
I said I'm eating 4.
Yeah.
That's risky.
I think
And
it would
then
be
I
fine.
said that if Tori and
I'm
I
pretty
did
lucky.
it together and we both claimed, like, okay, we will each eat 4, I would die for her. And then she could eat the rest, you know?
Oh.
But, like, we maxed it out at 4. Each of us is getting 200K.
Not enough to die for.
I wouldn't be dying if we
Well,
didn't
she
die.
might.
I might, but
Or
then
you
she
might.
can have the rest.
Why would we want to do that?
All right. See how I was thinking it too much. Go. There's this girl on TikTok who posted her wedding photos. She posted about 6 of them, and they were blurry. And she tagged the photographer and just put her on blast. And was talking about... She, like, put on there, like, POV, you paid such and such amount of money for your wedding pictures, and they turned out like this. And then showed 6 just really bad photos, okay? Did you see that?
Oh, no.
Okay. I'm going to show you just, like, what her wedding theme was, by the way. It was, like, weird pink and black circus themed.
So that photographer was doing them a favor by giving them bad
She was
photos.
doing the best she could. That blew up on TikTok.
Okay.
It went viral.
Because that's mean.
Because that's crazy. Like,
Yeah.
if you had these bad photos and you went to the photographer and said, hey, these photos are really bad, I'd like my money back, and she didn't give you your money back, then you could maybe have grounds to post about it like
Yeah.
that.
I wouldn't, but
I wouldn't either, but
slightly, you have a little bit of justification at
right.
that point.
The story unfolds because that woman, that photographer, had actually given her a portfolio of thousands of pictures. Over 1,000 pictures. And most of them, all 990 pictures were
Crispy.
crispy, beautiful. Given the theme, she did amazing.
So she was just being
She wanted to go viral.
bitch. Ugh.
And not only did she post those wanting to go viral, she tagged that woman's business page.
Crazy.
And so then that woman
Yeah, she's ready to
made
fire
her
back.
own video.
Good.
And was like, this is really upsetting. I don't understand.
Yeah.
She said that she had a conversation with the mother of the mother of the bride, and she said she was upset with those photos. And like some photographers will do like blurry photos for like aesthetic things. That's what they look like. And there was like, so she would take the same photo of the welcome sign, but one would be crisp and perfect, and then the other one would be like blurry, like she was trying to be abstract or whatever.
Yeah. Or it's
what
like
does it
a
matter?
Photo of like blurred flowers and the ring.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Kind of like that. Which, I mean, like, I wouldn't, the pictures that the girl posted, like, I would never frame those, but like.
You got 990 other photos that you can frame.
Literally. And so the mom had reached out to her and told her, like, she didn't like the photos. Like, the mother of the bride wore, like, cheetah print boots. Okay, I digress.
Cheetah print.
Or zebra or something.
Any animal print.
A print. And, anyways, so she got on there and she was like, I had this conversation with the mother of the bride. We talked about how, but she was like, I'm really sorry that you hate them. Like, that really sucks. Like, I feel so bad for the bride. Like, that does suck if you got pictures on your wedding day. You're never going to get them again. And you hate them. Like, that's really sad. So she offered to, I think she offered to refund at least a portion or something and give her the raw photos, which she's not obligated to do. She also offered to re-edit them. But the raw photo thing, it's in her contract that she's not obligated to do that. So she offered all this, like, stuff to make it better, and then the bride posted that. After she's doing everything she can to make it better, she posted that. So then
dirty.
the photographer posted the link to the whole portfolio.
Fuck yeah.
And people went and saw, like, her work and saw, like, that it was literally good.
Yeah.
If not good, she did her best with the material given.
I hope so much that photographer has gotten a ton of business because of this.
She got a bunch of new followers.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people are not on the whatever. And she also said after it was posted and it started to gain traction, like maybe it had like 60,000 likes or something, she contacted the bride multiple times. The bride never replied. Said she can, and I think when she did finally reply, she said, like, it's her perspective, it's her opinion, she can give it. You could have, but you didn't have to tag that woman's small business to do so. That sounds cruel and weird.
Bratty.
Like, so she ended up contacting the mother again and was like, hey, this could really, like, hurt me. Could you please ask her to take it down? And she was like, I'll ask her if she never did. But then the photographer stuff went viral about her showing
10 photos out of 1,000.
Yeah. And so then people started really getting after that bride, and the bride actually deleted her TikTok.
I'm surprised she didn't have, like, a slander lawsuit against her.
Honestly, I mean, she could have. Because that's
I guess social media sometimes is a lot faster than actually going to the real law, but
yeah.
What money doesn't buy? Class or taste?
People really went after her.
Yeah, well deserved. It looks like they spent a lot of money, though.
Yes, that's the thing. They spent all that money for that theme. It's crazy.
Some people, you know?
And, like, I do think that, like, maybe the editing for some of those pictures were seeming like a little spooky, dark, weird, because you gave her this.
But you had a circus wedding.
Like,
part of our conversation, the last podcast we didn't get to post, was about Blake Lively and Justin.
Oh yeah, Baldoni.
Yeah.
Let me think if I can remember what all he said.
We don't have to. It's all right. You're gonna post the video.
That's true. Well, and you know what? I have another piece to add about that. I think I have a new opinion on it. Since the last time we talked about it on that pod that maybe I'll post or not, a 10-minute voice memo came out that Justin Baldoni sent to Blake Lively at 2 a.m. Let me just play you the very first 5 seconds because it is uncomfortable, and I think that my opinion on the matter has turned into, I think Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively are two weird people.
Yeah.
I just think they're both weird. And I don't know who's right or wrong, but I do know that they're weird.
Is anybody not weird though? Like, really think about every person that you've ever met for a second. Have you ever met anybody that you could say, ooh, they're really not weird at all?
I think that everybody is for sure their own brand of weird. Like, I'm weird, you're weird, we're all weird, but there's a certain borderline.
Sorry, his voice kind of sounds a little bit sexy.
Sultry. But it sounds like I'm reading I'm listening to an audiobook.
What did she send to him that he said, thanks for sharing that with me?
Yeah, so I'm not going to post, any of that audio that I just let you listen to, because,
it would sound weird, yeah.
Well, it might sound weird, but I don't want to get in trouble or anything. I don't know. We have 12 listeners, but still.
All 12 matter.
She basically sent him that long message about how, I don't know, it's so much to unravel, but basically she sent this thing about how he wasn't taking her direction maybe, or taking her input, and it was and her text was so weird. She was saying I'm Khaleesi and Ryan and Taylor Swift are my dragons, and it was weird. And that's what he replied to that, was that voice memo, which was 10 minutes long. I didn't listen to the whole 10 minutes. I heard what I needed to heard. And it was weird and sultry.
Yeah.
Not that I think he was trying to be sultry, but
he sounds like he's laid up in the bed and he's like, hey, Ryan, thank you for calling me. I mean, Blake.
Hey.
Hey. I was thinking about Ryan Reynolds a little bit. Hey, Blake, give me a call.
But I've been seeing a lot of things where Taylor didn't like Blake using her name. In an argument with somebody, being oh, she's gonna get you, basically. She gonna get you. She my dragon.
Well, whatever makes you sleep at night.
Whatever make you sleep at night. That's gonna be the name of the pod.
I think it should be.
Whatever make you sleep at night. Let's do a new segment called "What Pissed Me Off This Week."
Fuck yeah. Some shit be pissing me off too. Okay.
Because I'm pissed about it, actually. Something that pissed me off this week. I'm driving down the road. We're in the South. And there's a pile of dead ducks on the side of the road where people have gone hunting. Shot 15 ducks out of the sky. Pew pew, and I'm so fun and hunt. And then just dumping them on the side of the road. I understand people hunt and they eat stuff. If you're going to do that, I still don't love it. But I eat meat. I get it. Whatever. Fine. But if you're going to be a freaking asshole and go shoot an animal just to dump its carcass on the side of the road, you piss me off and I hate you.
Yeah. Valid.
That pissed me off this week. Because I just saw a pile of baby little ducks.
You know that there's someone out there in this area that would happily take those ducks and consume it. So if you're going to go out and pew pew, you might as well give it to somebody that wants it. That's crazy.
It's so crazy. And it made me so mad. I'm a duck person.
I know.
I just I have an obsession. When they dip their little beak in the water and come back up. I love it. They're so freaking cute. If I'm in a pond somewhere, I'm watching them.
Yeah.
So I feel very strongly about the pile of dead ducks I had to witness today. That just pisses me off. And I hope y'all have a rash that never goes away. Mm-hmm. I hope your pillow's always hot and flat.
I hope the next time that you go to use the restroom, the next 50,000 times you go to use the restroom, you pee, and then you go away from the bathroom, and then you have to pee more, and you have to go back and do it again.
Mm-hmm. And it burns every time.
Not the first time, the second time.
Sure.
So every time you're like, oh, I didn't get it all out, and then it burns the second time.
Yeah.
So you're afraid to fucking pee.
Every duck that you've wasted. I hope your car doesn't start. All of those times when you need to go somewhere very important.
I like that one.
Yeah.
One time, my family, my parents, paid for my siblings and I to go on a cruise, which was really cool of them. Mm-hmm. That was really, really nice. I'm a big fan of my parents for doing that. That was the best family trip I've ever been on. But they said that they wanted to go scuba diving on the trip. Mm-hmm. So then they told us about it in November of whatever year, and then a year later is when we actually went on the cruise. So between that whole year, they told us we're going to get scuba certified, and everybody's going to go scuba diving, which was kind of cool. So we then spent not a little bit of money, a lot of money on getting scuba certifications, fins. I don't know what they're actually called.
Y'all bought your own scuba gear?
Goggles, mouth breather things. Yeah, bought our own things and had an entire weekend where we went to another town and had to practice scuba diving, because to get scuba certified you have to have time where you dive.
Yeah.
So then we go to Honduras, maybe Belize. It was either Belize or Honduras. Pretty sure. Actually, no, I'm pretty sure it's Honduras. And we got to scuba dive, and it was so cool. We got on a boat, and you get in the water, and then you go down, and my mask was too tight, so I had a headache. But at some point, they have lionfish there, and lionfish are an invasive species there. So they were like, if you see them, let us know, and we're going to spear them. And they had a spear gun style thing. And they were shooting them, and they gave my brother-in-law a chance to try. I think my dad and my brother tried too. And they got one or two. I don't know. They got some. And then we ate it. On the boat that we were on, they cut it up and added it to peppers and tomato and stuff and made ceviche on the boat, and then we ate it with chips, and it was so yummy.
That's so cool.
And when we were on land, I had the shits.
Well,
but it was so good, and I would eat it again. Shits or no shits, I would eat it again.
That is a risk you take with ceviche.
With fresh out of the ocean. Maybe? Yeah. It was delicious. Mm-hmm. I don't regret it at all. I would do it again.
Because it was raw, right? Yeah.
Yeah. It was, well, yeah, surely. They didn't have a cooking vessel. Why do I keep doing that?
Feels like, what's that?
Hum nummy nummy.
I was thinking of the thing where they give the dog, they ring the bell and the dog.
Oh.
What is that?
I don't know. They make the dog salivate?
Freudian? Yeah. I'm not big into being in the ocean, actually, at all.
I know. You're not a big, water. Nope. Large bodies of water.
I'm also just not a big risk person. If there's, large body of water is risk to me. It could be a snake in there if we're in the lakes here.
Yeah. So
I have to be a little tipsy.
You would eat 4 grapes, but I would gladly be in the middle of the ocean.
I think I just have a fear of something biting me. Yeah. And stinging me, actually, because wasps, I'm a little bitch.
Fuck wasps.
In the summer. I'll be, scared of them.
That's fair.
Even though if they sting me, it'll hurt. Yeah, but it's not going to be the end of the world. But, to me in that moment, it is the end of the world.
It is. I got stung a couple of years ago in my hand. And, I didn't have full mobility in my hand for a couple of days. Mm-hmm. That
it gets so
hurts.
Stiff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One time, I went to Malta, which is an island off the coast of Italy.
Mm-hmm. That sounds very fancy.
It sounds really fancy. It's not. It was really cheap to fly there. It was really cheap to do the things there. But rented a boat for a day. And because it's an island, well, we were on, the sister island, which is called Gozo. And because it's an island, you can boat around it. So that's what I did. Mm-hmm. I took a little boat and, sat in open ocean, because it's the ocean, and then went around the whole entire island. And it was so cool. I got the worst sunburn of my entire life.
Yeah.
Because,
sun.
It's bright.
When you're on the water, it's You're way
it's
more
different. Yeah.
at risk.
And I'm kind of pale. But also there was a moment where like the boat was just kind of far out. You could barely see the land. And I just was floating. It was so nice. I was like, a shark could come up and consume me right now, but I'd die happy because I'm in the ocean.
Well,
yeah. So whenever we're like on the boat at the small lakes around here and people are like, I don't want to be in the water. When you were like, I don't want to be in the water.
scared.
Or like we went to the beach and you were like, oh my God, I fucking love that. Like it's fine. I will die by the teeth of a shark.
Oh, no.
I don't know. It's because I'm a Pisces. I'm a fish.
You are a fish.
That was really loud. Sorry.
I'm a water sign, right? A Virgo? What am I?
You're
Air?
Earth.
Earth. That makes a lot of sense, actually. We're going to end it there. I hope you enjoyed us bitching about, everything. And sometimes you just got to do that. Don't forget that book of the month is Quicksilver. Have not started it yet, but I will.
Neither
Don't
have
worry.
I also will.
We're going to record that recap, or Courtney's recap on it.
In 2 weeks, right?
In 2 weeks. Now that I'm subbing, I'll probably just take it to work with me.
What a good idea.
So much. There's nothing for me to do there. Hopefully, if and when I become a teacher, my kids never find this. Or the fact that I stream on Twitch 3 days a week, sometimes. If you want to follow me on there and watch me play some video games. Right now I'm playing Princess Peach Showtime. It's very fun. The podcast has a YouTube and Instagram, a TikTok. TikTok's still here. We also talked about that on the last pod that got deleted.
Yeah,
or not deleted, but I might post it, might not.
I think you should just post it.
Also, I have a personal TikTok, Instagram, YouTube.
Tori Jade.
Everything is Tori Jade.
That's unfortunate.
And that's unfortunate is the rest. Thanks for listening. Please subscribe. Okay, bye.
All done.